Good Monday morning. No programming today, it's just gonna be me talking Patreon and stickers.
Fun function. Logo. Semicolons can't say. CircleCI. Typing is hard. Fluffykins. JavaScript doesn't make sense. Coffee break. Coffee break. Lid pusher. Good Monday morning. Nerdar robot dog. Rocket surgeon. I press enter really hard and then it worked.
If you don't like stickers, I'm sorry, just return next week and we're gonna be back to our ordinarily scheduled programming content. As of today, you can become a super patron of Fun Function for $9 a month. If you become a super patron before October ends, I will mail you the Fun Function sticker pack. This is your only chance to get this particular sticker pack, because we will never print this one again. Oh my god, limited edition! If that is all you need to know, then there is no need to watch the rest of this video. Just go to the link in the episode description to become a super patron, because the rest of this video is just gonna be me trying to convince you to become a super patron. I'm gonna talk about Patreon, I'm gonna show you the stickers in detail, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit of story behind each sticker, like the where it came from. What is a super patron? Well, I hope. As you might or might not know, the production of Fun Function is mostly funded by patrons. I should remove this because the lamps here make it really warm. As a patron of Fun Function, you chip in a couple of bucks each month to support the production of the show, and quite frankly, you are the reason why I've been able to continue the production of the show for the last 3.5 years. Up until today, there has been a number of different levels of patrons, but today we're gonna simplify that into just 2 types of patrons: forum patron and super patron. As a forum patron, you chip in $2 a month, and as thanks for that, you get access to the Fun Forum. I'm very proud of what the Fun Forum has become over the last year. It turned into exactly what I wanted it to be, a place where I can have fun and friendly and familiar discussions with you. As a super patron, you chip in $9 a month. Now, if I'm being honest, super patron is pretty much exactly the same as a forum patron. It's just more expensive. You should really only become a super patron if you personally feel like it would be a good thing for you to give the show a little bit of extra support. But on some months, not all of them, but some, super patrons will get random loot. And this October, that random loot is this sticker pack. So to repeat this high value offer, if you become a super patron before the end of October, I will mail you using my own hands, I will mail you the Fun Function sticker pack. This is your only chance to get this. This particular sticker pack. Will never print this again. Might print another sticker pack in the future, but it's not gonna be these. If you're a patron already, not a super patron, you will need to switch to the super patron tier in order to get the sticker pack. And you need to be on it at the end of October, because that's when the Patreon billing cycle happens. After the end of October, there is absolutely no obligation to stay on the super patron tier. If you want to hang out on it for a couple of months to support the show, that is great. I'm super grateful for that. But if you choose to drop back down to the forum patron, or if you want to stop being a patron altogether, that is fine. I still love you. If being a super patron and getting these unique limited edition, high value, smells so good, stickers appeals to you, then there's a link to become a super patron in the episode description. That's the technicalities. Let's talk about each sticker and allow me to tell you a little bit of a story behind each one. So, the first one is the Fun Function logo sticker. This logo is the second generation of the fun function logo. There used to be a logo in earlier version which was this monkey, which was it was a logo that won a logo competition on 99 Designs. It was voted in as the favorite among the viewers, but I just personally never liked it. I cannot really, to be honest, I cannot really justify why. I just didn't. One practical reason why I didn't like it was that it was too detailed, so it was really hard to shrink down to YouTube format, you know, like having it in the in thumbnails and in like shrunk to like these little squares that are so often featured on YouTube. Like it needed to be work in small format, and the monkey really didn't. So we had our designer Matilda create this. She's also the person that has created all the other designs, by the way. She's amazing. I feel like this logo is a lot more in line with what fun function is about. It's like, is this messy logo that is also like clearly playful. It feels almost like a kid's show. We actually model it a little bit after how the Fanta bottles are designed. This logo will probably be replaced within the not too distant future, to be honest, because I know myself, I'm this attention deficit squirrel, and I just wanna like, get a new one and constantly iterate. So the next one is probably gonna be even more dirty, because fun function seems to be taking like a more dirty direction, like more messy and more like pair programming and more hacking and more like focusing on making mistakes and solving them. That's the first sticker, the fun function logo. It has a couple of bugs here. I don't know if you see it, but we're gonna fix those for the final print. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be perfect. The next one, semicolons cannot save you. The people that know me personally, and honestly the people that have followed the show, have probably picked up that I am a bit of a contrarian. Whenever there is any form of majority opinion, I tend to want to try to do the opposite. It just, I don't know, it's just how I'm wired. I think that a certain part of the population of humans are wired that way. I'm not saying it's the best approach to always be like that, but it's how I am, and I think it's a good thing to have a little puddle of people that do that. And when it comes to semicolons, it was something that was considered in the JavaScript community a little bit like a weird dogma. Crockford had really harshly advocated for always inserting semicolons on every line, which is not per se a really bad recommendation, but he was very stern on it, and people started accepting it as sort of a religion, which isn't really what disturbed me either, but it was that people had started developing this faith that it saved you from automatic semicolon insertion errors, which it doesn't. It saves you from one of them, and I just started like, for me, it just felt like I wanted to do the opposite thing, and I also wanted to be closer to the automatic semicolon insertion routine, to be, I don't know, just more comfortable with it. Have it more in my face rather than this thing that I did a certain behavior to hide. So I started doing that, and oh my god, people were so disturbed by it. Like, a lot of people felt like they just couldn't read code that didn't have semicolons at the end of the line. So like, a lot of people even wrote really angry comments about it. So I eventually had to make a video specifically explaining like that, hey, semicolons in JavaScript are optional. Like, this is a valid way of programming. And that video was titled Semicolons Cannot Save You. And that's the title of this sticker. The channel wasn't really big at that time, but as it has grown, that video has been viewed like a lot. Okay, it's not that a lot, like 33,000 times. Either way, I've noticed like since then, there are a lot of less comments about it, and I see more code in a semicolon less style. So I don't know, I kind of like the ego in me, like the narcissist in me, would like to believe that I had some hand in that and just nudged the community in one direction. Not necessarily the right direction, but at least I made a weird dent in the universe, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, that's the semicolons cannot save you sticker. Typing is hard. I am not the best typist in the world. A lot of people comment and find it disturbing about how much mistakes I make in the videos. It's just, there's no flow. And I have done like this speed typing challenges test, and I'm actually faster than the average typists in like when I type text, and I make less mistakes than the average person in one of those tests. But when you take into account that I have to talk at the same time and like keeping tabs on a camera and the microphone and like a script, then my mistake level like rises quite a bit. And I get how that can be a little bit frustrating to watch, but it might also, I've also found that on the channel, a lot of my job is to just be vulnerable on camera, to show that development really isn't smooth. When you look through these courses that teach you how to do things like tutorials, and you just go through like things perfectly because they've prepared the script and they've done this 100 times, or when you look at talks where like this developer evangelist for Facebook or Google, they are there to show off this cool thing that Google made in order to make Google appear good as an employer, then it can give you the impression that people are way better than they are, and that when you run into problems when you're developing and everything just goes to hell, that something is wrong with you somehow. So with Fun Function, like, it's very intentional that I haven't spent time practicing my typing too much, because I kind of want there to be a lot of mistakes in the videos. All that is a very good way of rationalizing that I'm bad at typing. That's the typing is shard sticker. Well, this is amassing quite a bit of glue on my forehead. What next? What next? Oh, what about a sponsor? Because we have sponsors in the stickers. So the other thing that makes the show work economically are the sponsors. So this is a CircleCI logo. CircleCI was one of the first sponsors of the show, and they were like possibly like a really good first sponsor. They were such a pleasure to deal with. Emma and the people that worked there and set up the deal was so kind. I also visited their offices in San Francisco when I was there for vacation, and it was just such a blast to hang out with all of them. And they gave me much freedom in what I could do on the channel. They weren't too picky about the content that I created, which made it really easy to just create like the sponsors part as like a good content for you. But most importantly, CircleCI is also like a really, really good product. Like, it's so enormously solid. And when you have sponsors for your show, it just feels really good to actually believe in what you're promoting, and that it's a product that you feel, I don't know, safe or confident recommending. Like, this is something that I would recommend to a colleague or a friend. And that's CircleCI. I really like them. You can find a link to them in the episode description. Check them out and use that link so that they know that you came from here. Oh, and yeah, they provide continuous integration as a service, if you didn't know. So that's the CircleCI sticker. which one is next? Oh, let's do this one. Fluffykins! So in preparation for this video, I went back and looked at when did I introduce Fluffykins as a concept in the show, and it turns out that was actually the very first episode. Fluffykins has been through with us since the beginning, and it's just a silly name that I made up as a kind of example. I think it was initially a dragon, but it's sometimes a dog and it's sometimes a cat. It's just this cute name. I'm not sure where the hell I picked the name up, if I invented it or if it was something I picked up in a kid's show or anything. If somebody knows where the name I might have gotten it from, please comment. But either way, it's just this example name for things that I tend to use a lot. I also tend to use when I don't know what to name a variable, I tend to call it waffles or just poop. But Fluffykins is very high on the list. I've used him or her a lot, and it's there's actually it's actually another sticker that's coming later, the murder robot dog, that is eerily similar to Fluffykins. They look very similar. And they initially didn't, but we thought it was kind of fun. So we explicitly told Matilda that, hey, why don't you just use the same format? It looks kind of cool. So that this weird, absurd cat creature thing could be representative whenever you want to do an animal for fun function in the graphical profile. I don't know, do you like it? I like it a lot. Fluffykins. That is the Fluffykins sticker. JavaScript doesn't make sense. Not sure where this quote comes from when I initially made it. I think maybe some video related to React and bindings in JavaScript, I'm not sure. But it kind of just refers to the fact that JavaScript is a bit of a weird language. It has a number of quirks that are just really weird. I don't know if you haven't watched the WAT video, W-A-T video, that makes fun of the fact that how JavaScript coerces types, and there's how you parse integers and the binding of this, and how nobody really understands how prototypal inheritance works and how classes are hacked on top of it, and there's a lot of little weird warts that JavaScript has, but it's I don't think the language is still amazing. Once you learn to work around the quirks that honestly aren't that bad mostly, it turns out that JavaScript is just this little nice language that has many really powerful and awesome features, and I don't know, it's just a language that doesn't get in your way. But it doesn't make sense. Sometimes. JavaScript doesn't make sense sticker. Coffee break! Coffee break! It's been a little while since I did one of the coffee breaks. I did them more before, but it's these. I cut to this insane coffee making session where I just throw around coffee, and I started doing them on one of those days where I just didn't really have the energy to make an episode. And ironically, when you have no energy and no time to make an episode, one would think that you'd just revert to doing the simplest possible thing, the simplest possible episode, but no. Turns out that I just tends to work better when I just do something new, or something that fuck it, I'm just gonna do this super elaborate shoot that just destroys my kitchen, then takes 2 extra hours on the production, and that just somehow gives me a lot of extra energy. So ironically, on days when I don't have a lot of time or energy, I tend to make more longer and more elaborate episodes, because that gives me more energy. It's messed up, but that's the way it is, and that's sort of how the coffee breaks came to be. a lot of people think that it comes from like the original inspiration is Epic Mealtime, but I actually didn't know about Epic Mealtime. I was inspired by this thing called Ordinary Swedish Mealtime, which was in turn inspired by Epic Mealtime. But I did not know about Epic Mealtime itself. It was just Ordinary Swedish Mealtime. The coffee breaks, it's a core part of the fun function, I don't know, feel or philosophy that everything is sometimes just really messy and you scream and you just wanna, I don't know, blah. All right, let's do the big one, the biggest one. This is a huge one. This is like a bumper sticker. Can I fit this on my head even? There we go. I pressed enter really hard and then it worked. I think that a variant of this was in the first pair programming episode I did with David a long time ago, pair programming a Facebook Messenger bot. And I think we said something around like after like a long session of like fiddling around with shit, I just said, if you didn't catch what we did there, we just pressed a lot of things and then it worked. And then on a later video, I just plopped out this quote. And I think it resonates with people because it's how programming sometimes is. Like there was some change that you did that solved the problem, but you're not sure which one it was. And that's a super frustrating situation to be in because you know that, I fixed the problem, but I don't know how I fixed the problem, so now I have to figure out how I fixed the problem. If I just feel like, if I had just been more observant, I wouldn't have to go back and dig, because you really don't want to commit a fix when you don't really know why the fix works. Probably because when you're doing the pull request, the other person is going to reject your commit because they don't understand why it works. I pressed enter really hard and it worked. Ow! Let's actually do our second sponsor sticker. Pusher is another early sponsor. They actually created a sticker specifically for this campaign. Very cool of them. Fun Realtime. So if you don't know Pusher, they provide like real-time tooling software as a service suite for your application. So whenever you need to do push notifications or like real-time push messaging for your app, that their service suite is really handy to use and like very cheap and easy to use compared to building it yourself. Pusher has been around for a very long time and it's a very robust product, and they've contributed a lot to the developer community over the years, and I'm really proud to have them as a sponsor. And they also have chipped into the sticker pack, making it cheaper for you. So thanks for that, Pusher. There's a link to Pusher in the episode description that you can check out. Use that link to let them know that you came from here. Murder Robot Dog. The Murder Robot Dog was it's from the composition over inheritance video. It was this concept that I invented to demonstrate that single inheritance sucks. That it limits you too much, and you always run into these problems where you just haven't anticipated the future well enough because you can't anticipate the future, but single inheritance forces you to. The composition over inheritance video, actually, at some point I would love to make a new one because I made a couple of critical mistakes in it. Partially that I actually refer to single inheritance or classical inheritance in it, but I really should have called it single inheritance because that is the common type of inheritance that has the problems that I talk about, and the inheritance is the problem in the industry. because it's taught in many computer science universities, and it's taught in a lot of beginner programming courses, and it really shouldn't. It's bad. But what I demonstrate in the video, while I show the problem, and I think I got the problem with the murder robot dog across, I didn't make a good job of the example because I kind of implement multiple inheritance in the example rather than what I wanted, which was composition. So I could probably have done that a lot better, honestly. But, you know, you live, you learn. That's the murder robot dog, the thing that you can't implement in single inheritance. All right, only 2 stickers left now. Rocket surgeon sticker. Now, this rocket surgeon is absolutely not a term invented by me, but I think a lot of people hadn't heard it before I said it. It's I said it in the templating languages episode. I originally heard it from a programmer called DHH, but it predates him by a lot. I think that the earliest origins of it is some comedian, but either way, it just refers to like working with something that is extremely hard, like surgery and rocket science and surgery. That sounds really hard. And programming often feels like that. It just feels like so complex and blah. Programming problems are never hard when you like manage to drill them down to like the simplest parts, but programming is always like these interweaved huge system where you have to like wade through a lot of complexity and figure out like how is this thing connected to this thing. It's just got it. And sometimes it's just good to recognize that things are hard. It's okay to fail, and it's okay to be like hammering your head against a problem and not making any progress, and just giving yourself a little break, because what we're doing is rocket surgery. And you can sometimes also use it to refer to things that seem hard, but just, yeah, they're hard, but they're not. It's not rocket surgery. It's hard, but it's not as hard as. That's the rocket surgery sticker. Finally. Good Monday morning. This one is close to my heart. Good Monday morning came to be when the show started getting a cadence, you know, like or a cadence that was known. It was actually always released on Monday morning from the start, but I didn't say it. I didn't promise it. And then when the show like got a name, and I started like saying like, hey, see you next Monday morning. And then I said good Monday morning to remind people that, yeah, I'm doing this on every Monday morning. You can tune in on every Monday morning. This is gonna be a show that you can watch for breakfast on Monday morning to get you through the week. And like it's a weekly show. And the reason why I picked Mondays for releasing the show was I did a lot of research on like what's the best timing to release a YouTube video, what is optimal. And there is some research on it, but it's dubious. As they say, the plural of anecdote is not the data, and every audience is different as well. So eventually I just concluded that I can't really know what's the best day. So instead I just thought, what would be the best day for me? Or rather, which day would be the day that would be easiest for me to stick to? And I figured that it would be the Mondays, because at that time I did the episodes during the weekends, which was grueling. It almost killed me doing that for 2 years. I don't recommend it, but the general idea was that, hey, if everything else in the week went to shit and I just procrastinated through the entire week, didn't do any video on didn't do any preparation during the week, like on the evenings or anything, then I would at least be able to pull an all-nighter on Sunday and release it on Monday morning. So that's what I did, and I did that quite a number of times actually, but it always got released almost. I haven't missed a lot of releases. I'm very proud of that. I've never stuck to anything as much in my life as Fun Function, really, and I think it's because I don't have a lot of self-discipline, to be honest, but I have a very strong sense of duty. And when you have a couple of 100,000 people subscribing to the channel and expecting you to release an episode, then that creates a very strong sense of duty in you, and you feel like it feels almost unthinkable not to release an episode. And perhaps I'm making it seem a bit horrible here, but it's a system that I set up intentionally. I wanted it to be this way, and I really want to genuinely thank you for being there and pushing me to create this content just by expecting it. I'm very happy about what Fun Function has become, and it is definitely as close to a life's work as I've had. So thank you for being here and watching. And that's a good Monday morning sticker. That is the sticker pack. If you want them, do become a super patron before the end of October. There's a link in the episode description. Thank you so much for your patronage. It is quite literally what allows me to produce the show. I am MPJ. Until next Monday morning, stay curious. Get the stickers.